Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be doing a series of short videos which will explain the project rubrics for you. There will be four of them, one for Word, one for Excel, one for the presentation, and then one for the group leader. Everyone should watch all four of the videos, whether you're the leader or just a participant. Okay, let's get started so I can keep the videos to a reasonable length, right? So the first one is the word part of the project. So remember that you'll be doing a business proposal. So just some examples of what would be included in a business proposal. That would be the title or cover page. This is something that's standard in every business proposal. A table of contents, an executive summary, which basically is just what you're going to tell us, the key highlights in your business proposal. And then you have your proposal methodology, which must include an IT element. The IT element refers to the fact, as I've discussed in the initial class rolling out the project, is that every business must have some sort of information technology component to it. Now that could be the use of something like software applications such as quick tools. It could be that your business is going to have a website. It could be that you have an access database to control your inventory. So there's going to have to be something in your business proposal that will relate to the IT element of your business. This is required, okay? About us. That would be a short paragraph section talking about your team members, a little bit about your background, your history, where you're from, and so forth. Don't spend a lot of time on this. This is not, the content there does not carry the value of the other components, but typically this is something that you see when you look up a business proposal. You want to know who are these people that are presenting this idea to me, right? Pricing and financial. This would come straight from your budget. So your your thought process by coming up with your prices. Where did you come up with your ideas for pricing? Did you go use research to determine what the market price is? Say for example, if you're selling, if you're a restaurant and you're going to be selling breakfast, did you look up what the standard price and costs are from the different individual companies that sell eggs, that sell cheese, that sell milk, that sell coffee? And then what about the other businesses that are in your community that sell breakfast? How much do they charge, right? Are you going to be low end? Or are you going to be high end? Are you going to be more concerned with quality and not as much as having that reasonable price that you can have more people to afford it? Or are you going to be more concerned with price, and then quality is while important, not as key, right? So you have to think about what you're going to be and who you're going to appeal to, right? So again, this also comes back to research, right? Your timeline. What is the timeline from the time that you create your proposal until your business actually opens, right? So what do you have to do? What are some of the things that have to take place? Is there construction involved? Is there renovations involved? You have to purchase equipment. You have to print menus. You have to get your website. You have to hire employees. Do you have to train employees? What are some of the things that you have to do, right? The terms and conditions. This would more so apply to payment. So for example, like if you have a restaurant, will you accept credit cards, right? Will you not accept credit cards? Will you accept checks? Will you have accounts? Will you invoice large groups and they can make payments on that? If you're more of a retail establishment, like you're selling clothes and so forth, will you put things on layaway? Will you sell things on consignment? Will you have bulk discounts? These are the types of things when it talks about terms and conditions. Your final thoughts. That's kind of like your conclusion. What did you just tell us? What are some of the, again, when you do your executive summary, it's like, tell me what you're going to tell me. Then the whole part of the proposal is you telling me everything about your business that you want to create. And then your final thoughts is, tell me what you just told me, right? That's to put it in layman's terms. References of any cited work that to support your proposal. I did put a reference here, which is a blog, but understand this is not a reference that you would use to cite in your proposal. This is just a starting point for you to look at how to write a business proposal. It's one person's perspective on a business proposal, but you can use Google and you can look at what supporting characteristics are there of a business proposal. There is no necessarily right and wrong way. There are things that you can put in a proposal that are irrelevant, and there are things that if they're lacking, you will lose points, right? So let's look at the rubric here, and I'm just going to deal with the high grade of the 4, right? Obviously, you know if you drop off from any of these, your grade will only go down. It can't go up. You can achieve a grade anywhere from actually from 1 to 4, but you can receive a 0 if you do certain things, right? So remember that if you don't submit anything, you don't get a 1, right? You don't submit anything, you're going to get a 0. If you plagiarize, you're going to get a 0, right? But other than that, your grade should range from a 1 for the effort all the way up to a 4, and that could be like 2.5, 2.6, and so forth. So number 4 says here your paper covers the questions and informations requested thoroughly and responds completely to all of the issues. So that means you're going to basically have a complete business proposal, right, that deals with all aspects of the business proposal to your business. It must be a minimum of 4 pages, and that does not include any of the what do you call them, superfluous or extenuating sheets, which would be like the table of contents, which would be the cover page, which would be even the executive summary and the reference page, and if you attach any images as an appendix, right? So you're going to have charts and so forth. What you want to do is if you're going to put them into your 4 pages, they should be very small so that they don't take up a lot of space, or you could put C Appendix 1, C Appendix 2, or indexes at the end of your business proposal. So basically 4 pages is what it should be. If it goes down to 3 pages, that's when you start to lose points, right? If it goes above 5, then you could also lose points for being too wordy. So you want to be concise, you want to be clear, right? The business proposal for the content quality covers more than 8 elements of the standard business proposal. References and IT section are present. So for example, up here you'll notice that it has mentioned some, so you have cover page, you have table of contents, you have executive summary, you have the proposal methodology, you have the IT section, you have the About Us, you have the Pricing Financial, you have the Timeline, you have the Terms and Conditions, you have the Final Thoughts, and you have references. So if you use this guideline that's provided here, you have 10, which means that you have above the 8. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, but you can look it up and see if there's other things that you wanted to include in place of these, but you at least have to have the references and IT section. And obviously every business proposal has to have a cover page, right? That goes without saying, and also the table of contents as well. So you can decide on some of the other things and what you want to put in here. This is just a guideline, right? It's a starting point for all of you. Number 4 for formatting. Paper formatted according to business proposal guidelines, including proper format for title page, page headers, citations, margins, double spacing, font, and 4 references. So here, it doesn't necessarily have to be an APA format, but you need to have your references cited so, right? If you're going to use MLA, that's fine. We did not cover that specifically in this course, but you could use that format. So you need to have your references cited where they're used in your business proposal and at the end of the document. This will go be the same thing, just so you know, when you in your presentation as well. Your grammar and writing. The writer uses an academic writing tone. The writer has proofread and corrected any misspelled words, and the paper is free of grammatical, punctuation, spelling, and mechanical errors. So here, it's important that if you do your section of the project within your team, that somebody else on your team proofreads it, because if you have yourself proofread it, you may not catch the mistakes that you made because you're going to put in the words that you have in your mind, not the ones that are on the paper. So you want to have your team members help you with this. You could always seek out a group from another section as well who's not doing the same topic as you, or the same business type as you, to ask for them for their feedback and vice versa. So you could kind of trade off with a buddy team if you wanted to do so. Just be careful if you're not doing the same thing, because if someone steals from you and puts that into theirs, that could be a problem for plagiarism, right? The last part of the word rubric is organization. The paper is presented in a logical order with introduction, body, conclusion, and thoughts are organized by topic. So that means your paper, you don't have the table of contents on page 6, you don't have the cover page at the end, you don't have your references in the middle of the paper. You have them where you cited them, and then you have the entire reference at the very end, right? You don't put your charts maybe referring to the budget. You don't put them charts in the table of contents. You just have to have a flow, an ebb and flow that goes along with a business proposal that makes sense. And again, you can even use some of the different templates that are provided on in the Microsoft Word. You just have to be careful because some of those templates are hard to change when it comes to changing the structure and the layout in them. So again, you don't have to have me or your lecturer check which business proposal format that you're using, but you do have checkpoints. You have weekly sessions, and you also have the checkpoint that's in the rubric here where it says between the week of March 22nd to March 26th, that you can always double check and make sure you're on the right track. The important thing here is that everybody watches this video, everybody reads this rubric and uses the rubric as a guide. And again, before you submit anything, go through and make sure that your paper, that your proposal meets all of the elements of the 4. Because if it does not, then you can't expect to get a 4, right? If you only turn in a 2-page document, then don't expect higher than a 2 here, regardless of what's in it, because there's no way that you could do a thorough business proposal on a new business in 2 pages, okay? There's no way you could have all of the elements. If you only have 4 to 5 of the elements, don't expect anything higher than a 2. If you have less than 4, don't expect anything higher than a 1, right? So please, you have this guide. You just need to use it. All right, this is the end of the Microsoft Word video. Thank you.